Hey, what's up, guys? So the last time we left off, we had our map of San Francisco Bay Area. Actually, more like the entire coastline of California is what we had. But like I said, I was gonna split this tutorial into two bits. One of them we're gonna focus on kind of turning the Minecraft map, or turning the height map into a Minecraft map, and this one's gonna be more worldpainter oriented. I'm gonna show you guys how to kind of make this look a little bit more true to real life. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that those mountains are muted as much as I wanted them to be. And this is a process that I kind of hinted at in the previous video. That is kind of tedious because you don't really know what's going to look the most natural, and it's all going to depend on your scaling. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to View and Show 3D View. And this is going to show us the actual 3D view of what it's going to look like in Minecraft. And I can decide, you know, what I want this to look like and how steep I want those mountains to be, because sometimes it just will look a little bit ridiculous. And I think this one might be a little bit too much. So let's go back into that import from height map. And no, I'm not going to save that one. So same thing as before, just select that height map, 1.4 or later, and I'm going to keep it on 100% scale, but you can put it at whatever scale you want. We're going to put that bottom at 61 and keep that water level at 62, which is going to be the default Minecraft water level. Keep in mind, if you are doing a map that is landlocked, you still are going to need to increase that bottom, because you don't want the very bottom of the map to be one block above bedrock. It's not going to be very good. You won't be able to do any mining. The whole world will be incredibly shallow. Not a good scenario. Put that bottom a little bit higher, usually somewhere around 60. Okay. Now we're going to mute the top a little bit more. I'm going to put it more at like 160. And we're going to render this and see what it looks like. Okay, so we did run into a crucial error here. I didn't notice that when I actually imported it, if you change the top here enough, it will actually make the water level go up. And I will show you that in a second here. Okay, so the water level is 1, but if we keep going down enough, you'll see it just increased to 2, and that's because we made the scale low enough. So I'm going to keep it at 190. Actually, I do want to bring it down to 170, and what I can just do is... Shoot, no I can't. I guess we are limited a little bit. So I'll keep it at 190. And once again, we can go to Show 3D View and see if we like what those mountains look like. And I'm happy with these ones. These look pretty natural. Okay, so now that we've got this map that we're happy with, what I'm going to do, and this is just me, is I'm going to cut out a lot of this map. And what I can do is I can add and expand by tiles. Nope, deselect that. And I'm going to go ahead and remove tiles. There we go. It's a much more workable area. It's going to lag a lot less as I'm showing you guys this stuff. Now, what the map tries to do, what worldpainter tries to do, rather, is it tries to kind of make things look a little bit natural, and as soon as it gets to a certain level, it will change it to dirt, and then after that, it'll change it to stone, and after that, it'll change it to snow. And usually it does kind of a good job of doing this, but I think that we can do a little bit better of a job doing this using some of these brush settings. So what we're going to do first off to give ourselves a clean slate, so select that spray paint, select grass down here, select this brush, and throw that intensity all the way up. And we're just going to give ourselves a clean slate here. Alright, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put stone where there probably needs to be stone. So go ahead and select this, and the way that we're going to do this, I need to drag this out because I need to actually be able to see this part, is we're going to put stone only above 45 degrees. So if it's steeper than 45 degrees, it's going to turn into stone because that dirt is going to have fallen down and it's not going to actually stick. And you're going to get this really natural mountain type look when you do that. And again, this may take some experimentation. Maybe you find out that you don't really want to do 45 degrees. Maybe you want to do something a little bit harsher than that, or a little bit shallower than that. And as you're doing this, I really encourage you guys to use that 3D view to see if you actually like what you're doing. And looking at this, I think that might be a little too harsh. I think that might be a little bit too much stone. Yeah, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to undo that. And we're going to go for 60 degrees instead. Yeah, I'm starting to like this a little bit more. Like I said, this whole process is just kind of a trial and error type thing. See what you like, see what looks natural. And I am doing this process for the first time on this map with you guys, so I really don't know what to do for this. Yeah, that looks a lot better. You can see that there's some cliff sides right here, but it's not the whole mountains. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that harshness down a little bit. We're going to allow it a little bit of leniency, but we're only going to allow it to happen at a certain height. So let's say 100. At or above 100. And so that's going to give us a little bit more stone, but it's only going to be above a certain height. And we'll see how that works for us. I might not like this. I don't think I'm going to like this. Yeah, that's probably overdoing it on the stone a little bit again. So we'll go back. And we'll make that a little bit harsher of a parameter. Now let's try again. Yeah, see, that's really just not adding a whole lot. But what we're really trying to avoid here is just having that harsh, if it is above this level, then it will turn to stone. We really don't want that. We want it to look more natural than that. And just think about like what you see in real life. Like, dirt is not going to stick to a cliffside. It's just not going to happen. So let's look up and see if there's a lake right there. Because I think there is, yeah, right here. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom in on that. We have to be really careful doing this, and this always scares me. Because if you do this wrong, all of a sudden your entire map is flooded. But I'm just gonna go ahead and risk it. Oh, okay, that was close. So the next thing we need to do is we need to look at what kind of biomes we're going to be actually adding to this. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to use a Copen map of California, which is a type of biome map. And you can see that it's really not that complicated in this area. It's pretty much just desert. There really isn't a whole lot of sand, so I think probably my best judgment is to just make most of this a savanna. And honestly, if you guys are making your hometowns, you're probably gonna know what's the best description biome for you to make this. So just go with your gut. For example, when I was making Colorado, I found a biome that was really good to do was savanna, but add pine trees. So it kind of has that high desert type feel, and I think I might do that a little bit with this as well. But we'll see what this looks like. There we go. And unfortunately, I'm not actually sure where I got these brushes from, but it's a super popular brush pack, so if you search for it, I'm sure it will come up. So unfortunately, I don't know that I can link to it. If I do figure out a way to link to it, I will link to it in the description. So I will try my best. And then the rest of it, we're going to turn to a beach biome. Nope, that is not what we want. At or below 62. And we want at or above 61. So that is just going to fill in those beaches. Oh, shoot. Actually, what we can do is we can do except for, where is it? Except for savanna. There we go, and that's going to fill in everything except for that savanna. Oh, including that ocean, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to also turn that ring into sand. I'm also going to get a little more sand to that angle. So we'll put it There we go. That's a lot more harsh. kind of giving a weird effect. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it's got these weird See, I kind of like it, but I don't think that's a natural thing. And I need to find a way to isolate that if I want to change it. Because I kind of want to change it to like rocks or something. Only on terrain, grass. And I get rid of this. Then I can change it to cobblestone. Yep. There we go. Oh boy. Too much. Yeah, you know, that was an accidental thing, but I think it might work. Yeah, I like that a lot. We're going to keep that. So something that we can do is we can actually go to View, Configure View, and we can actually select an image overlay. And I've selected this California forest cover map. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. Okay, so that's roughly where I want it to be. And now we can actually use this to actually guide our forest cover. And so we're gonna go layers, and we'll go deciduous. And I'm gonna see what elevation this kind of starts to appear. 77. So at or above, we'll go 70. Only on grass. And we want it to be below a certain degrees because we don't want it to be on super steep stuff. And I'm gonna undo that because what you want to do as well is put your intensity down and get a less solid brush. I'll just kind of go over that lighter. Same thing as up here. I'm going to make it thicker in this area. And I'm really going to lay it on up here. And I'm also going to sprinkle some pine in as well. Disable that overlay. Let's see what it looks like. And again, we're going to do that kind of decreasing variables type thing. Intensity every time I do it as well. Alright, I think that should be good. So the last thing, the very last thing that we need to do, and I would recommend this being the last thing, is you need to go ahead and flesh out that ocean. Because right now it's just straight up flat. What you need to do is you need to think about the geology of the area when you're doing this. So what most continents will have is they'll have kind of this area where it's pretty close to the it's not very deep ocean. It's kind of a beach area. Then all of a sudden it'll dip off and then it'll become really deep ocean. So that's what we're going to kind of do here. I'm using, again, another one of these custom brushes to give it more of a natural feel. And I'm going to make it very big. Again, I'm going to make that intensity not as high. And we're going to go to the raise and lower tool. We're just going to start, we're going to hold the right mouse button just to start lowering this. So now that we're done with that, what we're going to want to do is go to this kind of rock, is what I like to use, and make sure that we're still set to that at or below 61. Go back to that solid brush and just go over all of that with rock. We don't want it to be grass like we set it as earlier. So let's go ahead and go to File, Export as new Minecraft map. Go ahead and do any of the settings that you want to do for this. Make sure that it's on 1.14 or later if you want to do that. I usually put it to just water at level 62. Outside that world border, you can put lava, void, whatever you want to do. Make sure that you put caves everywhere, caverns everywhere, there's chasms everywhere. But I wouldn't have the caves break the surface, like any of the stuff break the surface, because it just looks really ugly. And then make sure you have resources everywhere. Don't mess with any of this stuff. And make sure it's set to export everything. You don't want it to. And make sure it's set to export everything. You don't want it to only select certain tiles unless that's what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and export it, and we'll see you then. Alright guys, well here it is. We are here in San Francisco Bay. Looks like everything was pretty much a success. It all looks pretty good. And if you have Zero's mini-map, it actually loads up all that for you. So by all means, I think this was a success. I hope you guys found this useful. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave those in the comments and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. I know that just like the GIS stuff, the worldpainter stuff can be sometimes hard to get the hang of, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to use and pretty fun as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I'll see you guys next time.